You won't stop talking, why don't you give it a rest? You got more rabbit than Sainsbury.
Doesn't say anything of relevance, so just all surface level. But what I'm going to try, what firm ground I'm going to stand on, and I think Pavalo agrees with me, is there is no firm ground.
Okay, yeah. I do agree to that.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
go
go then.
Okay, yeah. This is the argument that I made so many times in the... You can take it. You want?
There should only be one.
This is the argument I made so many times in the past. There is absolutely no such thing as absolute morality. No such thing as right, wrong, that's it. That's the only thing that we can do. There are needs of human societies and there are solutions to those needs. And depending on the needs, to find the solutions, we create laws, we create moralities, we create societies to deal with those needs. And that is how justice is created, to make humans survive, coexist in a certain way. There is no such thing as absolute morality that every single person had since the beginning of time and until now and forever. That is why I always bump heads with religious people, even though I understand, and I don't hate religion, and I understand its usefulness in a society because it brings purpose to people. It brings them together to a certain extent. It organizes them. As religion has always been linked to the structure of power since the beginning, since the first civilization in Mesopotamia. The first kings were priest kings. They were linked to their gods. That's how it was since the beginning, and that is what I'm defending. No absolute morality, but that's why we should discuss and we should find better moralities to suit our needs as humanity better.
So you're saying that as long as whoever thinks that he is right, you said there is no right and wrong. If
Yes.
there is no right and wrong in reality, then why we send criminals to jail?
Because it's not functional to let criminals roam around when they're killing, stealing and raping.
So is raping and killing wrong?
Well, it
And
doesn't
stealing.
it directly
No.
contradicts.
My question was, is it wrong?
There is no such thing as absolute wrong.
I'm dealing with such a guy who's saying there is not such a thing right and wrong.
Yeah,
And
because
how
there
can
isn't.
I, as a human being who feels, who can touch, who gets up in the morning and looks at his family and he lives reality of life every day with happiness, with sorrow, with difficulties of life, he's telling me to say bluntly that if somebody comes and rape and murder and kill my family, it's not wrong. It's okay. Because he thinks there's not such a thing right and wrong. How can you as a human being, as an intellect, as a person who walks and talks and eats and breathes, can have such an idea and I don't get it? Where the idea comes from, how can you deal with it? That there is not such a thing right and wrong.
Okay.
Then a pedophile who does a crime, we should let him go because he's not wrong.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So he is wrong then.
No. Listen to me. Listen. I understand it must be hard for a religious person to understand what I am saying. It seems that your very ideology consists in seeing right and wrong in all people.
No, in
the thing
reality,
is-
no. In
thing is,
reality, we cannot live without right and wrong.
Afgan.
If the traffic light goes red, if I don't stop, jump the light,
Okay, Afgan,
it's wrong. I might kill somebody, I might harm
I will
somebody.
give you an example.
But if I stop at the red light,
Listen,
it's
bro,
You're mobbing
good.
him with words.
There is good and bad.
You are focusing all the time on feelings.
No, on reality.
No, feelings is what shows you reality. You don't know the absolute reality. All you have is your perception of it, an approximation. Reality goes through your senses and is perceived by you as well as you can, but it's not a perfect perception. Do you know what I mean? Now, my point is...
you're telling me I do not exist?
I'll let you speak.
No.
I'll let you speak. Let me
The
speak.
way you're
I'll let you
saying,
speak.
you're telling
Let me
me I
speak.
do not
I
exist.
let you speak. Let me speak.
And then come back. Yeah, come back.
All right.
One point at a time.
Has nothing to do with existence at this point. What I'm saying is, criminals should not be allowed to roam free.
Why?
Because it's
Hold
not
it. Next
functional
speaker.
for a society.
Next
Why it's not functional?
It's not functional because
Because?
it will ruin society.
Why it ruins society?
Because, dude, okay, do I really need to explain
Did they-
why?
okay.
Why, if a person kills another person, capturing the person and putting him to jail is
Okay.
the functional thing
No,
to do?
when a person
Do I really
kills
need to
somebody
explain that?
for nothing,
Are you that delusional?
what we call that
that's it,
action?
Are you that
You
delusional?
speak
What
up.
we call
You
that
speak
action.
on that now.
I am trying to
No,
explain my point.
Yeah, one
But
point
you're
at a
telling
time.
me
One
I do not
point at a
exist?
time.
No, but I can't explain if he keeps interrupting me. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
Pablo,
Have a break.
No,
have
no,
a break.
no. I can't
Have a
explain.
break. Let
Pablo,
somebody else.
we
We'll come back
feel,
later.
we touch,
We'll come back
we
later.
see,
No,
we
no.
get married, we have children. This is reality.
You have very-
And he's
very
telling me
narrow
I
view
should
of the
forget
world.
everything
You have a
and
very,
think
very narrow
Let's-
view.
everything
give somebody
happens
else
in
a
life.
Very narrow view.
It's not about
like
narrow.
a horse, you know, they put those
It's
things
about
on a horse.
reality of life.
Exactly.
You're not getting what I'm saying.
And stab somebody,
No,
he
you
will
see,
die.
He's interrupting me. He's interrupting me. He's not allowing me to speak. Because your identity depends on it. You're afraid. You're afraid of listening to what I'm telling you.
Okay, go on.
You're afraid because it will ruin your existence. You'll start doubting yourself.
What I told you.
You see,
I said
I
when you
can
say
bear,
I
I
believe
can
what you
bear.
say.
You see, he keeps interrupting me. Again, he interrupts me.
Yeah, yeah.
I can bear doubting myself. I can bear being wrong. You can't bear it. If you are wrong, even a little bit in your ideology, in your religious ideology, that's it. Your entire world crumbles.
No.
That is why you're so fragile. That is
No.
why you refuse to accept that
No.
you might be wrong. You see, and you no. You're like a baby who says, no, I'm not wrong. I'm right. You can't do it. You refuse to accept any kind
Can
of
I not
doubt.
be wrong?
You can't learn.
Can
if
I
you,
not be wrong?
If you don't accept
Can
doubt.
I not be wrong? Can I be wrong?
Yes, you can be wrong.
Can you be
Yes,
wrong?
I can be wrong.
If you're telling me your ideas and your ideology that I believe in you and change my ways, I can say the same thing to you. Because you have given me that right and you told me do what
is-
you like.
The difference is, I accept the
And now
possibility of
I'm
me
doing
being
something
wrong. You don't accept this
opposite your
possibility.
ideology. You say no.
Because
I
you
didn't give you
refuse
that,
to
that much
accept the
limit.
possibility of
So in the
doubting
first
yourself.
place, you're not
There is
free.
no argument if one of the sides refuses to do any kind of compromise. There is no intellectual
No,
argument.
but for me, when I stand and I say
Yeah, no, but for me-
killing
but
is
for me,
wrong,
who cares
I
for
stand
you?
on it. But for you, it's no.
I'm tired of you. I'm tired of
Yeah,
you. Let
fresh-
another
fresh
person
start, yeah,
speak.
fresh-
Let another person.
You make a this.
You keep
your
interrupting
logic
me.
is
You don't
not
listen.
even make sense.
There's a
You
question
don't
for you.
listen.
There's a question
You
for
don't
you.
listen.
There's a question for you.
Okay. Do you believe in absolute morality, yes or no?
No.
Why is that important?
That's a good question. Why is having an absolute morality important or not?
No, why is it important if absolute morality exists or not? Like, as an entity in and of itself, we describe absolute morality as an entity. Why is it important if that exists?
Why is it important? Okay.
Because I want to try and hammer this point down a little bit because I understand it's a bit abstract.
Okay, finally a good question.
If there is or is not absolute morality, it doesn't matter because humans have morals and they abide by them.
Yes, it does matter. Because people will assume that they have the moral high ground. They will assume they have the absolute morality, and by that they will become fanatical of that morality. And that is why what I oppose. That is why I never defend absolute morality. Because once a person thinks in his head he has the absolute morality, he will do anything. He will kill, he will steal, he will rape, he'll do everything he can to make that morality win. And that is why I'm so opposed to. That is why I keep bumping heads with Christians and Muslims. Because they are part of this structure of society of fighting for absolute morality. I oppose it. I don't agree with it. Because they become pawns, brainless sheep who follow the wolves into battle and die for the sake of the wolves.
Okay, but are you really that scared? Are you
Yeah,
really
you
that...
see, you can't bear it. You can't
Pavlov,
keep
just
silent
ignore
for
him, he's
5
heckling.
minutes.
He's heckling at this point.
Of course he is.
What was I going to say? So, do you really believe, honestly, that just because some people believe in absolute morality, that at the drop of a hat they would descend into chaos and immoral acts like rape, or illegal, shall we say, acts like rape and murder
No, of course not.
at any
No, it's not automatic. But there's a very big potential, and that is one of the things that I fear the most: mob mentality. Once a mob of people believes, is completely certain, completely entrenched into their idea of absolute morality, I'm very afraid of it. Because they will not listen to reason. They will not listen to any counter to that argument. Because they are so certain that they are correct, that they will do anything that the figure of power tells them to do. Anything. And that is the thing I'm afraid of. That is why I oppose this mentality. That is why I oppose his mentality. Because any person who defends the idea of absolute morality can deny it as much as they want. Oh, I would never harm another being. I would never do anything. But if you believe you got the absolute moral high ground, that's just automatic. You will do everything in your power to make that morality win.
It seems to me, and this is an important distinction, right? I'm not just calling you out on semantics, but it seems to me that you're talking more about collective identity than you are absolute morality. You're saying that collective identity, because whenever you talk about people will be willing to do absolutely anything, you blame this on absolute morality, but to me, when you describe it, you talk about mob mentality, you talk about being ordered to do this and that in the name of absolute morality. That sounds more like a problem that you have with collective identity. Because collective identity necessitates an authority.
The hooligans
over
does
that
it because
collective
football.
identity.
Yeah, I don't agree with the hooligans. I think the hooligans are one of the stupidest things in the world. They fight for football teams.
No, but you
Football
gave them that
teams.
right. You said in
We
your,
should,
hold on.
in your
We should not give them that right.
Because, hold
we
on,
should
so
not. It ruins society.
football hooligans are a good example. Do you believe that football hooligans, when they're watching football, have an absolute morality of football?
Yes. They believe their team is the good guys, the other team is the bad guys, the other team supporters are the bad guys. We need to go there, we need to kick their asses, we need to beat them to a pulp. That is their absolute morality. They're entrenched in it.
But you gave
See,
them
that's
that right.
That's my
You
view,
told them
Pavlo.
there is no absolute morality.
I didn't give them
You make
anything.
your morality
I don't have any
heckling
power.
you, Pavlo.
I don't
went
have
and made
any
their
power.
morality football, bro.
I don't
Pavlo,
have
you're getting
power. Am I fucking Donald Trump here?
Focus,
Am
focus,
Am I
focus.
Theresa May? Am I
Pavlo.
the Queen of England? I don't have any power to give them.
When you have no absolute morality,
There you go.
gave those a bunch of
I would
footballers.
argue-
They said,
Okay, let's just
there is
ignore
no
them.
absolute
Irrespective
morality.
of him.
Go make your own morality. They went
What makes
and made
football hooligans believe one
hooliganism
side is
their
good and the other
morality.
bad is
You
collective
gave them
identity.
that power.
It's not absolute morality. I don't think they have like moral.
You told
There's
them there is
no
no absolute. Go
book
choose
that
for
I'm aware
yourself.
of or guide to football
Hitler
that
chose
describes
his
the morality
to
of
kill
football.
6 million
Morality
There is just
is
collective
good and
identity.
evil.
He got the
Good and bad. Good and bad. That is morality. Something is good, something is bad. Good is good, we need to defend it. Bad is bad, we need to attack it. That is what
I
football
would argue that
hooligans
collective
defend.
identity- but I-
We are good, they are bad, that's it.
I
That
would
is their
argue-
morality.
Okay, let me try it this way. I believe that understanding and grasping concepts of morality like absolute morality, relative morality, subjective morality, these are, how do I describe it? These are functions of higher reason. Okay? These are things that happen after the fact. These are abstractions, these are rationalizations. Collective identity is much more deeply ingrained in the human brain than absolute morality. If someone punches you in the face, the first thing that comes to your mind is not whether it's morally good or not. It's, I want to punch this motherfucker back because
Exactly.
we're not of the same group, obviously.
Yeah, because he's punching me and I'm getting punched. That
Yeah.
means we are in quite a disagreement in our, in our immediate
Something's gone
interest.
wrong.
Yes, exactly, man. You look. Absolute morality is the second step after mob mentality. Not even mob mentality. The division between I and the outside world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you
Well-
gave them the morality to punch you.
Pavlo,
Because you said your
How
morality.
am I
you chose your
supposed to
morality
prove
to punch?
anything to you if you keep interrupting?
Don't you understand that?
Pavlo, he's
Don't
just
you understand
interrupting.
how a discussion works? You don't. You see, you don't understand. No, you don't.
Let
no,
me make
go
a
ahead,
point.
Go ahead. Go
Let me
ahead.
make a point.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You said when you say there is no absolute morality, then you gave every individual to choose their own morality. Now, a hooligan says football is my morality. A guy, when you didn't like your word, his morality was to punch you. The guy who loved the trees, his morality became the tree. The guy who loved the animal, his morality became for the love of animal. When you give people their own morality, why we have one prime minister? We don't have 10 prime ministers. When we go to any, let's say, football team, there is one manager, there is one captain team. Morality is something which is, I say, is embedded in our DNA all around the world. It's upon us who choose, who doesn't choose. That's my point. I'm not saying that, I'm saying morality is something that universal for every human being when they're born. Give a toy if a little 1-year-old child holding a toy, snatch it, he will cry. How does he know it's bad? How does he know you snatched it?
Because it's bad for him.
No, it's embedded.
It goes against his immediate
morality
interest.
is embedded in us. It's upon ourselves when we grow up, when our society, when our surroundings tell us the rules and regulations of life. When we
I like your getup. I like your getup, but you're a lost cause. I like your getup, but you're a lost cause.
Question for
You
you.
don't understand what I'm saying.
No, you cannot.
Question for you.
You're a lost cause.
You made a claim that morality is within our very DNA. Are moral truths to be found in DNA? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying.
Are you saying that we unravel enough of the genome, we're going to find moral
when
truths?
I say morality, I'm saying in our DNA is embedded to know good and bad.
Okay, so if that's the case,
because a religion, a religion person,
Give it time.
a religion. No, I'm giving you an example.
okay,
A religion person thinks he's religious. His books tell them to give charity.
yeah.
Then you see an atheist give charity. Who told them? That's my point. Goodness and badness is embedded in us. It's upon us when we choose. When I fight, let's say, I'm just giving you an example.
Right.
I might have a domestic in the morning and have a very bad temper, drive my car around the corner, hit somebody. The moment I get out of the car, I say, it's your fault.
Okay, Mo, let me ask you
I'm giving you a simple example.
Yeah, I wanna ask,
Wait, I'm giving you a simple example. Goodness and badness, I know I lied, but I chose to be good, and I chose to be bad. It's upon us. My claim is this much, that's all.
Yeah, but I disagree that morality is embedded in our DNA because people have different ideas of what is good and bad. The Muslim will give charity for one reason, the atheist will give charity for another. And those reasons, that reasoning why they give charity is what we call morality. So when you say it's embedded in our DNA,
So you made my point. You made my point.
When you
don't even see where he disagrees with you.
When you say it's embedded in our DNA, maybe the idea of good and bad are embedded in our DNA, but the reasons why we act good and bad, which will change our definitions of good and bad, I would disagree are embedded in our DNA. I don't think they are. Because of the fact that people have moral disagreements throughout the world.
Then if you think then it's the society and the civilizations who choose their morality, you cannot tell Hitler that his morality was wrong. Why did he kill Jews? He thought his morality tells him to kill 6 million Jews. You cannot tell him wrong then. You cannot tell Stalin, who loved his morality.
Well, no, you can't tell him he's wrong because you would say it was in his DNA to do that for all along.
No, but he
You're
chose.
coming from a position of genetic determinants.
My point is,
Why is it when there's a morality you don't like, you say it's against DNA, and when there's a morality you do like, it's your
everybody
DNA?
chooses. Everybody knows what is good and bad. I gave you a child example who doesn't know who God is, who doesn't even know the right and wrong or his parents. He's a child. If you snatch a toy, she or he will cry. There is a negative. As a human being, we live in reality, and when somebody is crying or in pain, we think it's negative. It's not positive. I'm saying even a child, I gave you an example, knows what is good, what is bad. Animal knows. If you be cruel to animals, they won't come to you.
So an animal has morality.
No, of course. But we, as a human species, we should know good and do it.
No, the animal has
and
morality.
know bad, don't do it. But when we do it, we know it's bad when we do it.
Then why do people have moral disagreements?
Because it's our conditioning of our societies, our whims, our desires, and it takes over.
Pavalo, you want to take it?
A doctor, I'll give you an example. The best surgeon in the world, lung cancer surgeon, he knows smoking kills, but when he sits, he's smoking a cigar. It's our desires takes over their win. You know, there is a good term. When a push comes to shove, we all fail. We know we fail, but we don't accept it. That's my point. We do
I don't even
things.
know where to touch that. You make a point.
Yeah, there's so
It's
many
just-
places where it doesn't make sense and I don't even know
When
where
a
to
thief
start.
steals, he never say, "Oh, I'm a thief. I've stolen."
Morality, is
Nobody
that an
says.
absolute morality or not?
I'm saying if morality is not absolute, when human beings in that dark room sitting on a computer, on that insurance job, on that, if we human beings, if we can get away with it, we will try to get away with it. That's my point.
I'm going to try one more angle with this, okay? I'm going to argue
we will get away with it if we can get away with it.
You've been talking
And we love it.
I'm going to try one more approach to this, and then I'm going to hand it over to Pavlov or the gentleman over here. I'm going to argue that we don't need absolute morality to guide our moral behaviour, because based on what you said, because you brought up animals know not to attack one another. To some degree that's true. Okay.
So then let's be like animals. Let's go outside.
Dude, let him speak. Let him speak.
Sorry.
Okay, I agree. If you don't mediate, I will mediate.
Okay, finish.
Why do you let him interrupt so much? Let him speak.
Sorry.
So I use this
I apologize.
I use this example a lot from game theory, right? I'll cut a long story short here, but basically the dynamics of any human situation essentially necessitate an equilibrium at some point. In other words, after a certain amount of interactions between a certain amount of people, there will be certain things that everybody just agrees on. Not because there's some idea of absolute morality, just because it's convenient.
But
like the right to self-defense. When you talk about children having their toys stolen, it's because they have an idea of ownership. They have an idea of property.
That's what I'm saying.
And then they have an idea of injustice.
Yeah, that's why my claim is.
It's a very basic thing.
So that's my claim. It's in their DNA embedded.
But they don't need absolute
morality. When I
morality.
gave an example of animal and you gave me, oh yeah, the animal knows. That's my point. That if animals have the right, they know good and bad,
reasoning,
and we know. Then you want us to be like animals.
No.
If I'm hungry, I can go outside, rob anybody, kill anybody as much as I survive. But as a human species, when I'm hungry, I don't have to go kill somebody to get fed.
Yeah, because humans
we know
help
between
to be helped.
the good and bad.
Social
animals
beings,
know,
man.
but we know good, we do it, and we know bad, we should not do it. That's my point. We are a better species. Good and bad is embedded in us, whatever you claim it.
What I'm gonna say is,
and I gave you examples, and I don't know.
No. You believe so strongly in absolute morality, it's impossible for you to conceive how I actually conceive of this discussion. Because I'm talking about moral reasoning. Animals do not have moral reasoning, okay? They have what we might describe and impose upon them as moral behaviors.
Yeah.
They might have an understanding between one another, or we perceive as an understanding. That's called, is it anthropomorphism? Anthropomorphism. Okay, that's us superimposing our ideas about morality upon them. But the fact that we can see good behavior in animals implies that it's something. There are ideas of ownership and there are ideas of self and other, which are deeper than the conscious level that you're talking about. Deeper than they go deeper. They go deeper than reasoning about moral concepts. Okay. They are subconscious.
Okay. When did you see 5 cockroaches around the coffee table discussing quantum physics? Oh, when did you see?
Mo, I didn't.
Rabbit, yep, rabbit, bunny, jabber, yep, rabbit, bunny, jabber, rabbit, yep, rabbit, bunny, jabber, rabbit.